What's going on, you guys? This is Dimension Scott back at you once again with a brand new ranking video kicking off the brand new 2024 of the year. And today we're going to do every single Spider-Man film from least to the best. Before we get into today's video, if you're brand new to my channel and don't know what my videos are all about, I love talking about things I'm passionate about. Movies, Blu-rays, DVDs, video games, and still like to do Blu-ray hunting videos. If you're into all that type of stuff, you love physical media like me, you come to the right place. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe for more videos if you like what you see. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram, same as usual, Dimension Scott. Okay, so with the return of ranking videos on the channel, and we had over 10 Spider-Man movies. You had the Raimi films, you had the Amazing Spider-Man films, you had the Tom Holland films, you had the so far Spider-Verse movies, and some people like to include the Venom movies and Morbius, but to me those movies just don't have nothing to do with Spider-Man really much. So I'm just going to talk about the titled Spider-Man movies. So shall we begin? And by the way, I think my ranking is going to be pretty unpopular. I'm going to actually defend one movie that people seem to despise way too much for. So let's do it. Okay, number 10 is Spider-Man Homecoming. Yes, I know a lot of you out there really think this is such a great movie, but if you go back and watch this movie again, this movie does not feel like Spider-Man. It's not about being Spider-Man with great responsibility. It's just about a kid with spider-like powers trying to do the right thing, trying to act like the new Iron Man. That to me is not Spider-Man, okay? I don't know how this movie deserves so much praiseful reviews as it to be the best Spider-Man movie when it really was not. I just don't think this movie delivered that heartfelt storytelling to be make this out to be such a good Spider-Man movie. It's just a comedy in high school and just trying to do some heroic stuff. Michael Keaton's Vulture did not have to be tied in with the girl that Peter Parker was crushing on in this movie at all. It didn't make any sense. All the technology and the suit, it wasn't Spider-Man. Now some people are gonna probably say, oh, it was a breath of fresh air. No, it was not. It wasn't Spider-Man. It was just some Iron Man techno thing. And like I was saying, I don't know how this movie got so much good reviews that it was made out to be the best Spider-Man movie at all, period. And lastly, I don't know why would you make Peter Parker take off his mask right at the end of the movie. That to me, that's just not, that don't sound like Spider-Man would do. He wouldn't take off his mask at the door and get caught by Aunt May. It just wasn't no depth in this movie. It was just all sorts of comedy and just not Spider-Man to me. Every time I watch this movie, the more it goes straight down for me. So that's my thoughts. That's probably an unpopular opinion. If you disagree with me, let me know down below. At 9th place is the original first, The Amazing Spider-Man. When this was coming out, I was like, oh, what happened to Spider-Man 4 I thought we were going to get? And then I realized what really happened because, so the problem was, after all the drama behind the scenes of Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi was like, I can't do this no more. So do your reboot that you planned it from the beginning. So Sony decided to reboot Spider-Man and scrap everything that they had set up planned for a continuation from Spider-Man 3, which they didn't turn out the way that movie Sam Raimi envisioned it. And they were trying to go out with a bang with a 4th movie. Everyone was set to come back, but with all that aside, The Amazing Spider-Man turned out to be a surprisingly okay of a movie. There are changes from some of the predecessors that they did in those movies. In this movie, Andrew Garfield plays quite a much more accurate Spider-Man from the comic books, and he has a great relationship with Gwen Stacy. The Lizard in this movie, I thought they were missing something. Why did they leave out Dr. Kirk Connor's family, wife, and son, as he's trying to turn everybody into lizards. But I thought the high school fight between Spidey and Lizard was amazing. No issues with the Lizard's design at all. I don't understand what people expected, but I think they really left out something about. They left out the best characteristics about Kirk Connors, and that is his family trying to stop him from turning everybody into lizards. I think some of the pacing is a little slow. Maybe that's because with the success of the Dark Knight trilogy, they were trying to make it more grounded, realistic. So those successful films made them go in a direction more like this that feels more grounded. So Andrew Garfield, some swinging action, some good Spidey moments, some great relationships with Gwen Stacy, Uncle Ben, Aunt May, was pretty decent in this movie. So I know some people think this is underrated, but I will get into another movie that I think is overly hated and underrated, which I will get into. At number 8 for me is Spider-Man Far From Home. So after the events of Avengers Endgame, Peter Parker Spider-Man is taking a vacation, following the events of Thanos' invasion, being brought back from that snap, and the movie still has that he wants to be in Tony Stark's shadow. Rey Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, he's great. And I thought his technology of, what do you call that? Illusions is amazing. Something I've always wanted to see in live action with Mysterio. And for those of you who don't know, that Mysterio was almost going to be in Sam Raimi's canceled Spider-Man 4. And in fact, Jake Gyllenhaal almost replaced Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2 following some injuries. But now he ended up being Mysterio. And I would like to see Mysterio brought back for another film again, because he really did a nice job as Mysterio. But they didn't need to connect that Tony Stark stuff at all with Mysterio at all. So I think Far From Home is a decent continuation. Feels like you're going on vacation, and Peter Parker Spider-Man is still living in Tony Stark's shadow, but is trying to do his own thing and be a hero. And I think his chemistry crush with Zendaya is pretty good too, because I did not like the girl from Spider-Man Homecoming. So forgettable. Could not act. She didn't need to be Vulture's daughter at all. That didn't make any sense. But I think the relationship build up between Peter Parker and Zendaya's MJ is really good. And the movie itself feels like you're going on vacation. I really enjoyed it for that. Number 7, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm tired of defending this movie. So many people think this movie is the worst. Some people think it's trash. Some people think it's just cramming too much. It's just trying to do too much to set up its own universe at the time. But let me explain something here about Amazing Spider-Man 2. Why this movie is overly hated, and I'm tired of saying it. This movie is underly rated. Amazing Spider-Man 2 still has that great relationship between Peter and Gwen, and you feel for Jamie Foxx's Max, who becomes Electro. And I think the visual look on Electro is still really good. It looks like from the Ultimate comic books, right? And you, based on his what he's going through, he is lonely in this movie, and you really feel for that. And I think the relationship between Peter Parker and Gwen was so on point, it really led to her untimely death in this movie. And if you go back and rewatch Spider-Man No Way Home, where that Peter Parker was like, I lost Gwen. I couldn't save her. I will never forgive myself for that. You feel the pain that he felt when Gwen died. And that gives me the even more better appreciation for Amazing Spider-Man 2 for what it is. And it does have a great score by Hans Zimmer. It has even better Spider-Man action than some of the recent movies have done. And Harry Osborn's best friend. I don't know what people were expecting. Were they really comparing him to William Dafoe? He did not have to rip off William Dafoe's Green Goblin at all. Rhino was also comic book accurate in this movie too. They really shouldn't have shown too much of this movie in the trailers at the time this was getting released. They even spoiled Gwen Stacy's demise. That was a huge mistake. That I guess everybody at the time knew what was going to happen. Everyone just jumped on the hate wagon and called this movie trash because so much was ruined in the trailers, which that has got to be an important lesson to stop showing too much in trailers. So Amazing Spider-Man 2 has great action moments, great emotion moments, great visuals, great actors, and relationships. I'm tired of defending it. I think Amazing Spider-Man 2 was the most highly underrated movie based on Spider-Man. At number 6 is Spider-Man 3. Okay, say what you want about Spider-Man 3. Next to even the Amazing Spider-Man 2, that are people like to still to this day crap a lot on for too much reasonings. But I still believe Spider-Man 3 still had a lot of its moments. And look what it even impacted to comic book movies today. I understand Sam Raimi had a lot of tough times with the studio at the time of the making of this movie and wanted Spider-Man 4 to go out with a bang. But I still believe this felt like a true continuation vision of Spider-Man of this generation or era of comic book movies. You know, you have Bully Maguire, which is hilarious. You have Look at Little Goblin Jr. You're gonna cry. It's Tobey Maguire. He nails it when he possesses the black suit, and how he mutilates Eddie Brock, leading into, well, the shoehorn in Venom. And all the cast is great. I think Sam Raimi's directing is still awesome, and I just think it has its moments. Even the Sandman, which I don't mind them making that twist, where he was the true killer reveal of Uncle Ben to Peter Parker. And I think I do believe when Harry and Peter Parker joined forces together after they realized everything that they've been fighting about, it's still amazing. And I think Harry Osborn's sacrifice to save Peter Parker's life, you feel that sad moment in Peter Parker's face. So I think Spider-Man 3 is good enough for a trilogy closure. Would I wanted to see a Spider-Man 4? Absolutely. It's unfortunate what went on behind the scenes, but I think what we still got, it still did a really, really good job. Number 5 is Spider-Man No Way Home. This movie felt like a dream come true for all eras of Spider-Man and even comic book movies. Whether you still enjoy the MCU or not, Spider-Man Homecoming was such a great experience. All the rumors and speculation, all the theories, what might happen to this Peter Parker Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, after the events of Far From Home. Everybody knows his secret identity, and he goes to Doctor Strange to create a spell to make everybody forget, and it goes insane with your characters, your heroes, your villains from the Tobey Maguire films, from the Andrew Garfield films, and Tom Holland's villains as well. Zendaya and Ned, Peter Parker's friend, were all great. And I'm so happy that this movie acknowledged almost everything what they've all been throughout the decades in their movies. That was such a jaw-dropping and dream come true. Spider-Man No Way Home is like a dream come true, especially if you're a Spider-Man fan. At number 4, the original Spider-Man movie. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, one of my favorite movies of all time, that Spider-Man is one of my favorite characters of all time, and I was so happy as a child to see Spider-Man finally on the big screen in live action, and it just blew me away as a child. I've been a Spider-Man fan my whole entire life, and I'm so glad that Sam Raimi took the job and directed this movie and hired a lot of great casts. Tobey Maguire, he is my favorite Spider-Man portrayal in live action to this very day. J.K. Simmons, he was meant for Jameson. And I like Kristen Dunst. Some people may hate her, but I still think she was probably one of my crushes as a kid, and I thought she did a great job as Mary Jane in this movie. And William Dafoe's Green Goblin. I understand that some people may not like the costume because it looks like something out of Power Rangers. If you go behind the scenes and look at what the original look was going to look like for Green Goblin, I think that would have been really scary and would have been horrifying. Now, I don't remember exactly why they chose not to do that, go with that facial look of Green Goblin, but if they did, I think it would have been so creepy and scary. You know, Sam Raimi, he is a horror director, so he kind of nails some of the scary moments in this movie. So yeah, I love Spider-Man. It's really one of my biggest impactful movies of my life growing up. Number 3 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the first Spider-Man movie. The first Spider-Verse movie, that makes more sense. So I was really surprised that you can tell a good Spider-Man movie, and not just live action, but even animated form too, thanks to Sony. So Miles Morales, he gets bit by a spider, and he wants to do the right thing, becomes Spider-Man, and he meets all these different versions of Spider-Man. A divorced Peter Parker, that's called Peter B. Parker. He meets Gwen Stacy, Spider-Woman or Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man Noir, Penny Parker, and the Spider-Pig. It's all great. It has great score. The animation style is really on point. I didn't think you can tell a good Spider-Man movie like this in animated form. This movie really surprised me. It has been one of my favorite Spider-Man movies by surprise. And I cannot wait to talk about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and see what they do in Beyond the Spider-Verse. Number 2, Spider-Man 2. This movie took everything that worked so well from its predecessor and kicked it up a notch in Spider-Man 2, which is, to me, is something a comic book movie sequel should do all the time. It makes it even better. So Spider-Man 2 tells a story about Peter Parker trying to balance his life as being a normal Peter Parker and being the great responsibility Spider-Man. And it all just comes falling apart for him. He loses his powers. He loses the girl he loves to Jameson's son. And he just gives it all up. Doc Ock is an awesome, great villain. He had a wife and he had this machine, and it all tears him apart and control his mind. That iconic train sequence is still to this day one of the best shots ever made. All I can say is Spider-Man 2 is one of my favorite sequels of all time, and it will forever, even when I pass away. But at first place is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This is what a comic book movie needs to do, is kick it up a notch and make it even better. So in this movie, Miles Morales, being the Spider-Man, he reunites with most of his old buddies from the first one, and he tries to stay away from Destiny and save his father's life. All those incarnation Spider-Mans, great. The movie has several different animation styles, and it is great looking. And this movie goes in a much, much darker story for Miles Morales to save his father and not try to follow any destiny and be told what to do. And this movie ends on a cliffhanger. So whatever it is they're going to do in Beyond the Spider-Verse, totally excited, cannot wait. I love watching all the versions of Spider-Mans that I knew about, even live action. This movie even Easter egg reference events from even live action Spider-Mans, like Multiverse. It all connects. It all happened. So Beyond the Spider-Verse is an awesome sequel, and I cannot wait for the next chapter for Miles Morales. So there we have it, guys. What do you guys think of my ranking? Do you enjoy Spider-Man? Is he your favorite character of all time? How would you rank each and every Spider-Man movie from least to the best? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos. But that is going to be it, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Keep physical media alive. Peace out.